we'll discuss exponents and the different laws of exponents. The first question, what exactly is an exponent? An expression like a to the nth power means we multiply a by itself n number of times. The number a is known as the base and n is known as the exponent. We'll now look at several examples. For something like 2 to the 4th power, this means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And when we multiply all of this together, we get 16. If we insert a negative sign in front of this, this one is negative 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which ends up being negative 16. If we put a parenthesis around that negative sign, now we're actually multiplying negative 2 by itself 4 times to get positive 16 again. So parentheses are going to be very important. If you have them, it actually means you're multiplying the negative number repeatedly. In my second example, where there are no parentheses, this means we actually do the exponent and then insert the negative sign. On the right-hand side, my other two examples, order of operations says we should do exponents before multiplying, so this is 2 times 3 squared, which is 18. My last example, order of operations says parentheses come first before exponents. 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 squared is 36. So parentheses are very important here. Our first rule is for 0 exponents. And any number to the 0th power is equal to 1, except for 0. So a to the 0th power is equal to 1 for all a not equal to 0. A 0 to the 0th power is a little more complicated than we will deal with here. As an example, if I do something like 3.72 to the 0th power, I get 1. If I have something like 7x to the 0 power, I also get 1. On the other hand, if I do something without parentheses, we do the exponent first, so we have 7 times x to the 0 power, which is 1, which is 7. Similarly, if I stick a negative sign in front of here, this is negative 7 times x to the 0. So now we have negative 7. The next thing we'll look at is negative exponents. In general, a number to a negative power, a to the negative n, is the same thing as 1 over a to the n. So a negative exponent indicates that it should be on the bottom of a fraction. On the other side of that, 1 over a to the negative n is a to the n. So if it's already on the denominator, we need to move it back to the numerator. So essentially a negative exponent just tells us to switch the side of the fraction. As a few examples, if I have something like 3 to the negative 2, this is the same thing as 1 over 3 squared, which is 1 over 9. I could also have something like 1 over x to the negative 7, which would be the same thing as just x to the 7th. A slightly more complicated example, negative 4 x cubed y to the negative 6. This is the same thing as negative 4x cubed over y to the 6th. The negative 4 and the x both have positive exponents, so they're going to stay in the numerator, whereas the y will move to the denominator to account for the negative exponent.